Welcome to Myth Echoes, where ancient stories rise again. Today we travel into the mist-covered lands of the Celts, a world of warriors, druids, and gods who shaped not only their people's imagination, but also ours. Celtic myths are unlike the structured pantheons of Greece or Egypt. They are fluid, mysterious, carried not in stone temples, but in memory, song, and story. They whisper of battles and banquets, of heroes and tragic loves, of a shimmering otherworld just beyond the veil. For the next 20 minutes, we'll journey through their cosmos, meet their gods and champions, walk into the fairy mounds of the Cúchulainn, and discover why numbers, cycles, and symbols mattered so deeply. So sit back and let the echoes of Celtic myth surround you. To the Celts, the world was alive with spirit. It was not divided into heaven and earth, but into three realms: the land beneath our feet, the sea that encircled it, and the sky arching above. This tripartite view echoed everywhere, in their rituals, their gods, and their symbols. The sacred trees connected these realms. The mighty oak stood for strength and kingship. The ash bridged the earth and the heavens. The dark yew, evergreen even in winter, spoke of death and rebirth. To cut down such a tree was more than sacrilege. It was a cosmic wound. Numbers 2 shaped their thinking. The number 3 was especially holy. Triads of wisdom, triple goddesses, the triskiel spiral carved into stone. For the Celts, truth itself often came in threes. The world was woven, layered, spiraled. No straight lines, no final endings. Everything circled back, alive, eternal. Among the most powerful of Celtic myths are those of the Tuatha Dé Danann, the people of the goddess Danu. According to legend, they arrived in Ireland hidden in clouds and mist, bringing with them magic, wisdom, and treasures. They carried 4 sacred gifts, each a symbol of divine power. 1. The stone of Fionn, which cried out beneath the feet of the rightful king. 2. The spear of Luff, said to never miss its mark. 3. The sword of Nuada, from which no enemy could escape. 4. And the cauldron of the Dagda, which left no company unsatisfied. The gods themselves were as vivid as any Greek Olympian. Luff, the shining one, master of every skill, warrior, poet, craftsman. Brigid, goddess of poetry, healing, and smithcraft. Her flame is said to still burn in Kildare. And the Dagda, the great father, with his endless cauldron of plenty and his massive club, capable of both taking and giving life. But these gods were not invincible. They fought the dark Fomorians, monstrous beings of chaos and sea, whose one-eyed leader Balor could slay with a glance. Through battles of light and shadow, the myths tell us of balance, the eternal struggle between creation and destruction. The Celtic imagination gave rise to heroes whose names still echo. One was Cúchulainn, the Hound of Ulster. As a boy, he trained with the warrior woman Scathack, learning feats no other possessed. In the epic Tain Buachailnge, he stood alone at a river ford, holding off an entire army with his fury and skill. When his warp spasm overtook him, he became monstrous, terrifying, a divine rage channeled through human flesh. Then there was Fionn mac Cumhaill, leader of the Fianna, hunters, warriors, poets. Wise as well as strong, Fionn gained knowledge by burning his thumb on the salmon of wisdom, then sucking it for inspiration. Whenever he needed guidance, he placed that thumb in his mouth, and truth came. These stories were more than entertainment. They were lessons in courage, loyalty, and the thin line between human and divine. Beyond the mortal lands lay the Otherworld. It was not a faraway heaven, but a place always near, sometimes under lakes, sometimes inside hills, often behind the shimmering curtain of twilight. The Cúchulainn, the fairy mounds, were thought to be its entrances. Within, time flowed differently. One might spend a night in the Otherworld, only to return and find 100 years had passed. It was also the land of Tir na Nog, the land of youth, where no one aged and joy was eternal. Yet mortals who returned often crumbled to dust, for time does not forgive its debt. The Otherworld was filled with strange beings. Selkies, who shed their seal skins to walk as humans. The Puka, a shapeshifter who could bring either fortune or ruin. And the Banshee, whose wailing cry foretold death in a family. To the Celts, magic was not an illusion. It was the pulse of the world itself. Celtic life moved in cycles. The year was marked by great festivals. Samhain, when the veil between worlds grew thin. Imbolc, heralding the first stirrings of spring. Beltane, a fire festival of fertility and protection. Lugnasad, the harvest feast of love. Numbers guided meaning: 3, 7, 9. 3 realms, triple deities, threefold truths. 7 for luck, 9 for completeness. Their symbols echoed this eternity. The spiral, without beginning or end. The endless knot, weaving time into itself. The triskele, 3 spirals joined in one, ever turning. Through these numbers and forms, the Celts saw eternity reflected in stone and fire. Though centuries passed, the myths endured. Irish monks, writing in Latin, preserved sagas that had been sung by bards. The Welsh Mabinogion carried tales of magic and transformation. Scottish lore whispered of Selkies and giants. Later, poets and dreamers took them up. W.B. Yeats heard the Sidhe in his twilight walks. J.R.R. Tolkien found inspiration for his elves and his battles. Even the legends of King Arthur carry Celtic roots, blending myth with medieval romance. The Celts may have vanished as empires rose, but their stories still breathe in our books, our films, our imaginations. The Celts teach us that myth is not dead history. It is a living fire, passed from voice to voice. It tells us that courage may live in a single warrior, that wisdom may come from a fish, that eternity lies just beyond the veil of mist. Thank you for joining MythEchoes on this journey through Celtic myths and legends. If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe, share, and follow for more stories from the world's mythic past. Until next time, may the echoes of myth guide your way.